You know, folks, with the success that Riverdale has had on the CW, I kept thinking, and the fact that the season's coming to an end in the next two episodes, the first season that is, I kept thinking to myself, what would it be like? You know, what would it be like if maybe, um, surprise, surprise, if the CW, along with Sega, and whoever the comic publisher would be, either Archie, IDW, whoever, what if they came together and did a 1 hour animated series similar to Riverdale? Well, not similar, but kind of in tone to the fact that it would intrigue people, like every episode is just a continuation from the last. And I'm talking about Sonic, of course. And I know you're thinking, well, Brian, there's Sonic Boom on Cartoon Network. I know that. But I'm talking more about a series that is very dark, gritty, mysterious. Just like what you get in Riverdale. More of a more mature Sonic series with the characters that we know from the games, like Sonic, Amy, Tails, Rouge, Shadow, Shadow, Blaze, you name it. But also with the established Sonic characters from the comics and SatAM, like Sally, Bunny, Antoine, and Rotor, and Nicole. To me, I look at the potential of what that could be as, what that could be if done right. If done in a similar, if you got the same creative team behind Riverdale to come in and do a Sonic series as well, to do a 1 hour animated Sonic series, CGI, 2D, doesn't matter. I think if done right, if you got that same creative team, it could be done right. It could be done so right that people would want to see more. The CW would want to invest in another season, just like they've done with Riverdale. So to me, I look at the fact that the Sonic series itself has a lot of potential. And if you want any kind of story arc to adapt into a 1 hour show, a primetime show aimed at an older audience with a more mature tone, just like what you got with Riverdale for the Archie characters, then the Sonic series provides you with a lot, especially from the comics. It provides you with so much. And I just feel that something like that could really work. Now, I know some people would say it's a long shot for even that to be greenlighted for an idea, to be greenlighted as an idea to be put into production. But to me, I think it would work. I really do. Especially if you have a movie coming out in the next year or so, which we haven't really heard much of right now. But if you have a movie coming out, then this would work as something that you could do afterwards or even before. and think about it. A lot of people, there's a lot of fans out there that miss having an intriguing Sonic series to talk about on television. They miss having something that they could watch and react to and talk about. And to me, doing a Sonic series similar with the same creative team behind Riverdale, or the same creative teams behind The Flash, or Green Arrow, or Arrow, period, or Legends of Tomorrow, or Supergirl, using any one of those creative teams to make something like that happen would work. Especially if you kind of use, let's say, the creative staff behind Arrow, or Flash, or Supergirl. It works. Or even Legends of Tomorrow. It would work because they're used to creating stories and atmospheres that get you invested, that get you involved, that make you want to come back for more. And I honestly think that if they were to do that with a Sonic series, with all the stories that the comic book has to offer, all the characters that they could work with from the games and the Sat AM and Archie, it just, to me, it would just be to me, it would just be, I think it would be a tremendous deal. And it would be a winning benefit for all parties. And think about it. Think about this. CGI or 2D. When is the last time we ever had a 1 hour or 44-minute animated primetime series aimed at a more mature audience? When was the last time we ever had that? As far as I'm concerned, never. And this could be a first. It could be a huge first. And I think, like I said, you got all the elements there to make it work. Heck, you could, if you want, heck, if they want to, they could rely on the new soft retcon continuity and storyline and story arcs to work with. And I think, and even put in their own original ideas for stories. And I think people would eat it up. I really do. And like I said, it would, from what I have seen and heard, you take a creative staff that works behind the scenes, from script to final production on something like The Flash, or something like Supergirl, or Arrow, or even something like Riverdale, or even Legends of Tomorrow. You take any one of those, and I guarantee you, you would have a gold mine on your hands. CW would have a gold mine on their hands. CW would have a gold mine on their hands, because if they can prove to be a gold mine for something like Riverdale, basically, in my opinion, a last breath attempt by Archie Comics to become relevant again and get themselves back in the mainstream. Who's to say they can't do the same with a 44 minutes, 1 hour per Sonic animated primetime series? Who's to say they can't do that? Because you know what? I think they could. But it would all take all it would take, to me, is getting the right creative team behind the scenes. And I think if you would choose out of any of those 5 shows I've mentioned, maybe even more so, like Supernatural or Vampire Diaries or whatever, you get one of those creative teams to agree to do it, I think you can have gold on your hands just like that. And again, the story arcs offer themselves to you, not just game-wise and originally, but adaptive-wise from the comics by Archie Comics. They offer a peripheral of options to work with. And it would work. It really would. So, I throw the question out to you. Do you think a primetime Sonic series done by the same creative staff of any of the CW shows that I've mentioned, mostly the 4 or 5 that I've mentioned, do you think, if with the right creative staff supplied by the CW, because you can't tell me the CW doesn't get an ear on this. They don't have a knowledge about this. They don't have a say in who is part of the creative staff, because they do. Do you think a Sonic series in the same veins, maybe a hybrid of what you get with Flash and Arrow, and then what you get with Riverdale, could work? Because I think it could. But maybe that's just me. But I look at the fact that if you want to hype up a movie coming out, then you do whatever you have to hype it up. You get anybody's attention on it. You do whatever it takes. And I think a primetime Sonic series would do that. I really do. I think, that, honestly, the opportunity is right there in front of them. If they can take Riverdale, which is basically the Archie Comics in a more darker, grittier light, and take it and make it a success, I think they could do the same with the Sonic series. I really do. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. What do you think about the idea? Do you think it could work? And how do you do you think it would work? And what creative team would be the best suited for it? The Riverdale creative team, the Flash creative, the Arrow creative, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Supernatural, Vampire Diaries? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. But honestly, I think it could work. The opportunity's right there. All they have to do is take it. Let me know down below what you guys think. Talk to y'all later.